Good afternoon. I'm Marla Waters with ADP.
Hi, this is Alex speaking. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's so nice to meet you today. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to speak with me. Mary Hernandez actually referred me to your business while she was assisting me with some of my taxes. We got on the subject of fitness somehow, and she mentioned your facility, Family Fitness, to me.
Oh, yes, Mary did mention that she referred my information to you. She's a great family friend of my husband and I.
Great. She mentioned that you guys run 5Ks and 10Ks together. That's really impressive. I would love to get back in shape and be able to do 5Ks again, and like I have in my past.
Yes, being physically fit is something that me and my husband both take a lot of pride in, and usually the races that we attend are always for a great cause. We actually just attended one a few weeks ago that was for the Brain Tumor Foundation, and we actually beat our record by 2 minutes. So we're always improving, and we love that aspect of fitness that we can also encourage all of our customers that join the gym to better themselves as well. It's very rewarding.
That does sound rewarding, and that's great that y'all ran that race. I love that, and that sounds really great. Speaking of like getting in shape, I told Mary that I was looking for a new fitness gym for myself, and that's really how your business was brought up in the first place into our conversation. She knows that I work with ADP though, and she mentioned that she thinks that our payroll system would be beneficial to your company. Do you mind if I go into a little detail of if you go into a little detail about your business for me?
Of course, I don't mind at all. So we actually just expanded to our new location. We have a current one here in the area, and we also deal with a lot of new members, always getting them signed up, trying to encourage them to better themselves. And we also offer a child care center so that way we can always take care of their kids too, so they never have an obligation to worry about.
That's awesome. I love that you guys provide that childcare center, and I actually saw that when I had looked over your website and looked over some notes for you guys. I think it's awesome that you give parents and working parents that time to get a healthy lifestyle because it's hard when you have children at home and you have other responsibilities. So to get started, do you know much about ADP system and what we actually offer our clients?
I heard about ADP once when I was in my last franchise. I was introduced to the subject. All I know is that you guys deal with payroll system, but I wasn't looking into anything that soon because we were about to franchise, so we weren't exactly ready to make that transition at the time.
Okay, I understand. Well, before I go into much detail about ADP, I'd really love to learn a little more about your business before I do that. Like, how does your company currently execute payroll? That's something that's really important.
We actually do it on a weekly basis, and at our new location, we just started working with the Excel sheets and by paper. And our first location, we're still working with the QuickBooks system.
Okay, wow, that sounds very tedious and time consuming. If you're doing this weekly, how many hours do you feel that you're spending on this a week?
We usually put in about 6 hours on our payroll system, and then about 8 more hours just with all the HR and paperwork that needs to be done.
Wow, that's a lot of time. Give me 1 second. I'm going to write that down and keep that in my notes. Okay, and how many employees do you currently account for during your payroll periods in both your current location and your previous location that you have, your Family Fitness and Family Fitness West?
Great. Our current gym has 2 managers and 10 employees on our payroll system. However, our new location, the Family Fitness West that you had just mentioned, has 3 managers and 14 employees.
Okay. All right, great. It's awesome that you're expanding and it sounds like your business is going very well. Congratulations on that. Are each of these staff members paid hourly or they have a salary, and are they receiving different pay rates?
They're actually all paid hourly. Many of our employees are given different pay rates depending on their duties because we have a bunch of different things such as the daycare, juice bar, personal assistants, people working the front doors. So everyone's pretty much on a different pay basis at the moment.
Okay, I understand. Well, with 6 hours being spent on the payroll and then the 8 hours spent on HR, are you and your husband struggling balancing that with just everyday life, like and other things that within the work life? I know that you have other obligations within the company. Is it hard to balance those?
It's been very challenging because we're still trying to expand to different locations, and with our new growth, it's hard to get everything under wraps. We're trying to promote that business and get new members signed up, but right now I feel like we're spending so much time on the tedious tasks that aren't even generating revenue, so we really haven't had much of an opportunity to get out there as much as we would like to, because we would love to get some new people signed up that we know are in the area. We just haven't had the time to reach out to yet.
I totally understand. I can see why it's hard to find time. and also especially to do some marketing, because that's how you'll bring in your new customers. And I know marketing is also time consuming, and taking some of that payroll time and putting it towards marketing, I think would be beneficial for you guys. Is completing the payroll weekly just a large convenience to you as well?
Yes, it actually requires a lot of time in the office. So I think we'd really love to prefer to only have to do it twice a month and possibly pay our employees on only the 1st and the 15th of the month. I feel like we would get more time back and our employees would be just as happy with this change as well.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. I think that weekly is a little tedious for both you and for the employees, and the paper paychecks and everything. I'm sure that that can get chaotic, and also probably mistakes happen. Has been doing the payroll weekly cause any tension with your employees or any mistakes or inaccuracy?
Yes, we've actually thought of trying a different method because we've had so many frequent errors, and our employees constantly get a little bit frustrated with us when they have to come back to us and try to explain why their paycheck was a certain way, what errors happened, and trying to work out the different kinks. So we've thought that there is probably a better way to handle this system because we don't want to keep having this constant frustration with our employees.
Right. I can definitely see why everyone would get frustrated with that. I know it's frustrating for you and your husband when you have people constantly coming to you when you're trying to complete other tasks. And I know it's also very frustrating for the employees when they're trying to get their paycheck deposited, and pay their bills, and they just can't get that done if it's not the correct amount. I know that you guys, I'm sure you can agree with this, that employee management and owner relationships are very important in the workplace. And I'm sure that you value that.
Yes, we care so much about our employees because we honestly couldn't be where we are without them. As an entrepreneurs, our employees are our backbones, so we want to show them how much they mean to us and how much we appreciate their time. So we want them to understand that we're doing the best to get them their efficient payroll system as quickly and done right as possible. We don't want them to ever feel like we're trying to push them to the back burner because they are equally as important to us as our customers.
Right, and I'm glad to hear that. And after hearing all these problems with payroll, I definitely think the ADP will be very beneficial to your company, especially to manage your time and to manage your payroll efficiency in general. I'd like to elaborate on this. I have a slideshow that I'd like to email you, and because that goes more in depth. Do you mind if I email that to you?
Of course, I'd love to see it. My email is alexpeterson@gmail.com.
Okay, great. All right, I'm sending that your way. Let me know when you get it.
Okay, I just received it in my inbox.
Okay, great. Well, after hearing about your company and your current payroll system, I believe your biggest needs are implementing weekly paychecks and direct deposit. That would be helpful for you guys, I'm sure. And as well as having a system that isn't so time consuming for you and your husband. So you have more time to do things out of the work, out of your business, and also other things to add to your business as well. Am I on the right path here?
Yes, exactly. We would love to have more time to make our company as efficient as possible. Like I mentioned, we want to get more people signed up and just get our name out there more. And right now we're just spending so much time in the office focusing on one task at a time.
Great, I can understand that. And I can assure you that ADP can be a great match for you with convenience. So I'm going to go to slide 2 if you'd like to go with me. And that's going to show you how our mobile payroll application works. Our mobile app lets you process payroll anytime and any place. It's easy to use, as you can tell on this slide. It's very self-explanatory. It's easy to fix mistakes if you ever make any, because I know that that can be a problem with accuracy on paychecks. It's easy to make direct deposits, and it's also easy to do paper checks as well. So if some employees prefer to have paper checks and some employees prefer to have direct deposit, you can differentiate between the two. The paychecks are also always on time for employees because they are set to be sent out on a certain date, and you don't have to worry about that. So you can check and edit the employee at any time and change it as well from your phone. And that gives you more time for all those activities that we talked about earlier, and gives you more time to focus on other places in the business. Does that sound okay to you?
That would be great. Being an on-the-go kind of family as we are with our gym, we're always active. I would love to have more time to spend just running and getting back into the 5Ks and 10Ks with Mary. I really miss that time. And obviously more time to spend in the office because there's so many more things that we need to be doing. If we could be on the go doing our payroll, I feel like that would be a lot more time efficient.
No, I definitely agree. And also, as you told me that you spent those 14 hours weekly on this process. So therefore, if you think about it, you're actually spending 168 hours a year on the process. So ADP can eliminate these hours for you and help with organization of employee information as well with HR. And I'm sure it's hard to keep up with HR and your employee information using just QuickBooks.
It seems that ADP is so in-depth and can offer all these fancy, nice features that we're really not used to. So I think the system might be a little bit out of budget for us.
No, you don't have anything to worry about with our pricing. I'm glad that you mentioned that though, because that's on slide 4, and I'd like to give you a breakdown of our pricing. Do you mind scrolling there for me?
Of course. All right, I am on the pricing slide.
Great. Well, pricing here at ADP starts at a one implementation cost of $150. ADP's cost per payroll processing is based on your number of employees and based on how many times you process. So basically with both locations having a low number of 12 at your first and 14 at your second, the fee would be $38.95 each time you process your payroll. And then if you're going to do it every 2 weeks, this would cost, let me see. This would come to be a total of $934.80 per location. So it would be about $1,900 per year for ADP processing at those 2 locations. However, I would like to go ahead and let you know that the implementation fee is changing on May 1st. Instead of having just the one-time $150 implementation fee, it's going to be a $200 fee for your first location. So Family Fitness would be $200, and then your additional location, Family Fitness West, would be an additional $100, meaning that that would actually be double of what you would be paying if you committed before the first. So it would be $300 implementation.
Oh, wow. This pricing is actually a lot more doable than I expected. Thank you for letting me know about the implementation fee. I'm just not really sure that we're ready to make the big transition right now.
Well, I can understand where the concern could be coming from. I mean, I can assure you, though, that it is well worth your money because you're saving all that time and you're saving money at the same time. How much would you say that your husband's time is worth?
I would say his time is worth at least $100 per payroll.
Okay, so say your husband's working on the payroll then. With recent and future expansions, chances are you will need an accountant to step in the future. If you're using QuickBooks, you won't have enough time to do it yourself, and you'll need the extra help. So if you believe your time is worth $100 and you spend that 168 hours per year on this system, that's already going to be $16,800 that you're spending that you're saving switching over to ADP. If you hired an accountant, they would most likely be expecting the same amount of pay that you mentioned. So you're actually saving money it's only $2,000 compared to $16,800.
Wow, I've actually never really thought of it that way, but that makes a lot more sense because as we grow, we would be wanting to hire on someone to take on this position as a full-time type of management position. And putting a value on it that high just seems like a lot to commit to, considering this is just a payroll generating task and there's nothing that will be coming back out of it. This does seem to makes the price seem a little bit more doable and a lot more fitting for our needs.
Great. And I know that you also mentioned that you're using paper checks and having to distribute them by hand. I definitely believe that's contributing a lot to maybe some employee unsatisfaction. And also it's contributing to your time that you're taking on your processing. So ADP can easily eliminate that. Like I said earlier, we can easily do direct deposit, and that will go directly into employees' accounts. There are still details of the payments, and just like a regular pay stub, and shows the hours that they worked and the wage that they made. So employees will always be well informed when they're looking at their paychecks as well. And I think that this would make you happy, and I think it would make your employees happy as well. Do you agree with that?
I definitely agree. I think this is so much more convenient for both my payroll managers and all of our employees. That way it's easier for everyone. It's much more convenient.
Great. I'm really glad that you're seeing all these things that ADP can do for you and your company. Is there anything that may worry you though that I have not covered?
I just am not sure that we could trust a payroll system this large because Mary has mentioned you are fairly new in sales in your company. So I just want to make sure you're just as trained in this area as the rest of the employees would be.
I can totally understand that, and I'm glad that you asked that because honestly, yes, I am new, you're correct, but we have over 150,000 businesses that trust our company, and our solutions provide them with top-notch service. So yes, I'm new, but I have an extensive training, and my boss would never put me on the field if he didn't think I was ready to help customers and to gain customers support. So I also want to tell you that we have a wonderful customer support system, and it's available for all hours of the day. So you not only would have me, but you would also have other customer support systems that you call 24 hours a day. And I feel like although I'm young, and new to the company, I can definitely assist you in the best way possible because yes, I do not have very many clients right now, and I would love to acquire you and put all of my time and effort into your business, into family fitness.
This makes me feel a lot better. I can tell that you're very educated in your position and very informed of everything that it will entail. I can tell that your boss had you well prepared for this call, so I feel much more comfortable with this. The only thing I am a little bit more concerned about is the security. As far as it being on a mobile device, it kind of makes me nervous with all of the hacking stories that you hear.
Honestly, when I first started working at ADP, that was one of the first things that I thought about too, is how can this be so secure when it's on a telephone? Well, honestly, it's totally up to standards because this private information is never actually stored on your device, and it's more of like in a cloud, and you're going to be able to access it anytime, but it's never going to be saved to your cell phone. We also have a full range of security measures, including account numbers are never transmitted. We're protected by encryption. Login sessions time out from failures or inactivity when it's not being used. So it's not like someone could pick up your phone and look at your payroll as long as you have a password in it, which of course you will. And the account is locked, especially when there's excessive incorrect login failures. And that's a big red flag for us. And we would definitely contact you if we see that happening. And we also use the same systems that banking companies use. So if you can trust your bank with all your assets and all of your money, then I can assure you that you can trust us with your payroll information. Do you see how this wouldn't be an issue for our product?
Yes, it makes me feel so much more comfortable that you mentioned the correlation between the banking system security, because you're right. We trust our banks with everything as far as our mobile device, and I'm sure that ADP has this. If they have the same security as on just payroll, I can assure it's top of the line. But my only issue is, will this all be compatible with my device? Because I'm not super technically savvy, and I'm not sure that it would work on my phone.
Well, what kind of phone do you have?
I use an Android.
Okay, yeah, no worries. The Android smartphone is 100% compatible with our system. A lot of times we do promote our iPhone a lot, but you can get the same application and do the same things through an Android, so you have nothing to worry about. It's just downloaded through your application store onto your device, and we are compatible with, if you were to ever change, we're compatible with iPhone starting from the lowest generations up until the 6, and we're compatible with all Android platforms as well. So not only is it compatible with your phone, but it's compatible with tablets, and the application can be run on those devices as well. And if you want to use a laptop or a computer, you can also pull up ADP Run on there as well, as long as you have internet access, and it's easier for you to share the screen, I know, on a tablet or a computer. So it's nice that we can either do it on a mobile device, or we can do it on a tablet with a big screen, or if you feel like sitting at your desktop at home, you can also complete it there. So does this help you with any concerns that you were having about the platforms being used?
Yes, this makes me feel a lot better. I was just nervous that I would have to transfer phones because I'm actually super happy with our Android service. Although my husband does like to transfer phones a lot more often, so that's great that he could move back to the iPhone and it would still be just as compatible. And we do like to have the viewing on our tablet because it's a little bit larger screen, so that'd be great to view it on our computer whenever we're in the office or whenever needed.
Great, I'm glad that you can see that, and that's totally fine if he wants to go back and forth with the iPhone or the Android. My husband's the same way, so whatever he needs to do, it'll always work for him. He has nothing to worry about. And I just want to summarize just a little bit. So we've said that the pricing is going to be very easy very nice for you guys. We'll save y'all some money, and then we've talked about how having the application and the mobility will be very beneficial and save you guys some time. And we've also talked about direct deposits and how you want to be using paper checks. We've talked about how you don't have to do weekly anymore. We've talked about so much today. I know it's been a lot, but I know that the integration of HR and everything that we've talked about, I feel like it's super beneficial for you guys. And I just want to make sure that I've covered any concerns about the system that you have, because I know it's been a lot of information, and I know that you've stated that you are comfortable with the system and you're feeling like it's going to look good for family fitness. But I just want to double check that you don't have these concerns before I move on.
Yes, I felt very comfortable. There's so much great information coming our way. The only thing I'm a little nervous about, I just want to make sure that we'll always have the constant support that we need, since this will be a big transition for our company.
I totally understand, and it will be it seems like a big transition, but to be honest with you, transitioning to ADP is so simple. And like I showed you on the slideshow, it's so easy to learn, and you have the constant support of our 24-hour system. You have my support 24 hours a day, so you have nothing to worry about. And we would love to spend time and teach you how to use it. And I promise you would be able to figure it out within a week. You and your husband would have it down pat. So it doesn't require you to be tech savvy.
Great. Well, thank you for your reassurance. I'm definitely very interested in implementing the product, but I do want to make sure that I'm able to sign before the 1st, because I don't want to miss out on that deal, saving money with the new startup fee that you had mentioned.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. And I would love to get you in before May 1st and make sure that you don't have to pay that fee. So I can begin the process by go ahead and emailing you. Can I email you on that same email address? Is that okay?
Yes, that address works great.
Okay, great. I will send you some paperwork and we can begin the process so that we have things done as soon as possible.
Thank you. This was very informative. I can't thank you enough for all of your help with this.
Well, I'm so glad that I got to meet with you today, and it was a pleasure meeting you. And I'm just now sending the email, so it's got the paperwork in it. And I can't wait to continue to work with you and utilize your wonderful facilities at the same time.
Great. Thank you so much for your help. Have a great day.
You too.